Everyone thinks the Fitbit Charge 6 is just a tiny smartwatch replacement, but here is the thing, it is actually a fantastic fitness tracker that can feel disappointing if you expect smartwatch magic. Why? Because its most hyped tricks depend on your phone and, in many cases, on Android. I wore the Charge 6 for 21 days across 10 workouts, 4 outdoor runs, 2 HIIT classes, sleep every night, and a full week of tap-to-pay and Google Maps tests. I went in skeptical after the Charge 5 let me down with no button and flaky GPS. What I found will either save you money or lock in a great buy, depending on one decision most people overlook. Before we dive into what I discovered, quick heads up. If you are already leaning toward it, I put the best current price I could find below. But hang tight, because there is a twist that could change whether you should buy the Charge 6 at all. Look, here is the setup. I needed something slim for 24/7 wear because my bigger watch was wrecking my sleep. I am training for a 10K, doing 1 long run and 2 interval sessions a week, plus a couple of strength days. I wanted accurate heart rate during sprints, simple zones, turn-by-turn directions on unfamiliar routes, and tap-to-pay for a mid-run coffee. The Charge 5 failed me. No physical button, GPS drifted downtown, payments were a mess. So when Fitbit pitched the Charge 6 as the only tracker with Google built-in, Google Maps, Google Wallet, YouTube Music controls, plus improved heart rate accuracy and a real button, I thought, finally, but I also remembered the fine print, so I tested it hard. Test 1, outdoor runs with Google Maps. On a Pixel 7, I loaded a 6.2-mile loop and followed turn-by-turn on the Charge 6. The haptics were strong, arrows were clear, and I never had to look at my phone. Battery on the band dropped 8% over 55 minutes with always-on display off. Phone dropped 9%. Split pace stayed within 5-10 seconds per mile of my chest strap data from Strava, but then I left the phone at home. The Charge 6 still recorded distance with its built-in GPS, but you lose Google Maps directions. The Maps feature depends on the phone. So, maps are great, but only if your phone runs Android and is on the run with you. Test 2, heart rate accuracy in HIIT and rowing. I paired a Polar H10 chest strap, ran intervals, and did a 30-minute row. The Charge 6 tracked average heart rate within 2-3 BPM of the strap and lagged peak surges by about 1-2 seconds, excellent for a wrist tracker. Fitbit claims up to 60% more accurate during vigorous exercise versus Charge 5, and honestly, it felt like it. Zone transitions were snappier, and my max HR matched within 1 BPM on my toughest set. Here is where it gets interesting. I broadcasted heart rate from the Charge 6 directly to a Peloton bike and a Concept 2 rower using the Bluetooth heart rate profile. Pairing took under 30 seconds and the connection stayed solid the entire session. That one feature changed my gym flow. Test 3, sleep and recovery. Over 2 weeks, sleep onset and wake times matched my reference ring within 5-10 minutes. The sleep score felt fair, and the nightly SpO2 and skin temperature variation were useful trends. But there is a catch. Daily readiness and deeper recovery insights sit behind Fitbit Premium. You get a 6-month trial, then it is a subscription. If you hate subscriptions, factor that in. Test 4, wallet, music controls, and everyday wear. Tap to Pay with Google Wallet worked flawlessly at my grocery store, cafe, and train gate when paired with Android. On iPhone, you do not get Google Wallet on the Charge 6. Same story with Google Maps turn-by-turn and YouTube Music controls. Android only and regional availability applies. As a tracker, comfort is great. The new physical button is a win during sweaty workouts. Water resistance is 5 ATM, swim mode worked, notifications were reliable, and the AMOLED display is bright enough in sunlight. Battery life? Fitbit claims up to 7 days. I averaged 5.5 days with 3 GPS runs, 2 HIIT sessions, all-day notifications, and SpO2 enabled, about 2.5 days with always-on display. A GPS-only hour drained roughly 10-12%. Downsides, still no altimeter for floors climbed, no offline music, and no real app ecosystem. Here is the revelation. The most surprising thing was not the Google Maps directions, which are genuinely helpful, it was how much the Charge 6 relies on Android for its magic. On Android, it is a small powerhouse. Accurate heart rate for workouts, maps on your wrist when your phone is with you, tap to pay that just works, and seamless HR broadcasting to gym equipment. At the current Amazon price around $127.55 with a 4.1 star rating, that value is strong. On iPhone, though, you lose the headline Google features. You still get the improved heart rate, a better button, solid sleep tracking, stress metrics, ECG for AFib checks where available, and built-in GPS, but it feels more like a Charge 5.5 with fixes, not a category leap. Compared to alternatives, Garmin Vivasmart 5 has great battery and metrics but no GPS or payments. Amazfit Band 7 is cheaper with long battery, but my HR drifted more in intervals and no Google perks. A basic Apple Watch SE crushes smart features for iPhone users but is not as slim and costs more with 1-2 days of battery. Too good to be true? Not quite. GPS can still wobble in dense cities, wrist HR still lags during all-out sprints, and premium is a recurring cost. But if you are the right user, it lands in a sweet spot. Now that you know the big differentiator, Android unlocks the marquee features, get it while the price is low. I have the best current deal linked below, plus my favorite third-party bands and a screen protector. Check your region for Google Wallet and Maps availability before you buy. Bottom line, if you are an Android user who wants a slim tracker with legit workout HR, gym equipment broadcasting, turn-by-turn directions when your phone is with you, and tap to pay, the Charge 6 is easy to recommend at this price. If you are on iPhone or you need floors climbed, offline music, or a richer app ecosystem, look elsewhere. Apple Watch SE or a mid-tier Garmin are better fits. For the right buyer, the Charge 6 is not a tiny smartwatch. It is a serious tracker with Google superpowers, and that is exactly how you should judge it.